Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. And if you're watching on replay, thank you so much. I hope you can put this on while you're in your sewing room, and then you will get some stitchy chatter in the background to keep you company. So, oh my goodness. Hello, everybody here in the chat. Great to see you guys. Hi. 300 already. That's wonderful. Let us know if you're new. If this is your first time here, pop in the chat and let me know. We have a welcoming committee wandering around somewhere. We also have a virtual kitchen. Usually there's birthday cake in there. If it's your birthday, feel free. Scotty Dog runs the kitchen. Hi, Harriet. How are you, sweetheart? And Barbara's on coffee. So lots of stuff in there. Good to see you guys. Okay, yes, Janet, I am still in Missouri. Absolutely. Keith is outside, fixing to come inside, packing up. And we are leaving today. We are in Springfield today. And we're leaving in a little bit. And hi, Becky. Enjoying that Avenir, my friend. And we're heading for Cabot, Arkansas. One of Keith's old Air Force buddies and his wife, they came to visit us last year and we really enjoyed them. So we're going to see them now. And then we'll be there for a couple of days at their lake house. And then we are taking off for Nashville, which is a bucket list for me. So awesome. Quilt Wench is on the welcoming committee. She's doing great. Saying hi to everybody. Girlfriend, I don't think you can type that fast. After a while, she just gives up and go, hello, everybody I missed. Awesome. Lisa says she had a great time Saturday at Sean's Sewing Center. Thank you so much. I enjoyed that so much. So what she's talking about is I was teaching snapplique at the Sean's Sewing Center, which we really enjoyed. And I got to meet so many of you. It was awesome. Some folks had never really watched me. Sorry, I'm a little froggy this morning. Some folks hadn't. I think everybody, there was only maybe one or two out of the 40. There was 20 each day, Friday and Saturday. So yeah, it was good. And the benefit that you get from coming to a class that you pay for as a, thank you, Peggy. She saw me on Kimberbell Day. Yeah, I was on there with my granddaughter. I want to thank Kimberbell for inviting me to be part of that. That was so fun, and she really enjoyed it. So, well, happy belated birthday, Vicky. I met Vicky at one of our it's my husband making all that racket, making his drink. Vicky was at our RV Sew Together in El Campo last year. It was a pleasure to meet everybody there. Yeah. So the benefit of going to a class that you pay for, as opposed to just watching a video on YouTube, is one, you get your questions answered, but two, you get the theory behind all of why this works. And then you also learn to recognize the pitfalls of things that can happen in the process. There was one lady told me on Friday, she says, you don't say any of this in your videos. And I tell her, no, I don't. Because, Kay, you can go back on Kimberbell Day's video, and I'm at about an hour and 45 in the timeline. It's like 4 hours. So Callie and I are about an hour 45. So hold on. There's Pete. Ron loves it. Bonnie's husband, Ron, loves it when he does that. So thank you, Lily. Yeah, you're very sweet. She says, the class was awesome and I'm an excellent teacher. I love, it was really interesting because the first day, Friday, so a lot of people have expensive embroidery software, whether they're using Floriani or Bernina's or PE Design or PEP or whatever they're using. And no, we haven't done Frito yet, Pam. She's eating right now. So she's having breakfast. I couldn't get her over here if I tried. So I think the big difference was on Friday, the people who have that kind of software, I would say the majority of them don't use it or don't know how, or went to a class and still don't get it or something like that, because those software are hard. They're hard to use. But the class on Saturday, and this just worked out weird, I don't know how, there was probably a dozen students that have high-end embroidery software, and they're using it and they're familiar with it. And I even had a lady tell me, as you talk through this process, it gave me the tips that I needed to make it work in my Floriani. So she was partway there, but not all the way there. So that was kind of cool to be able to get people past that. While I use Embrilliance, you don't have to use Embrilliance, although it's a lot easier. Everybody realized that after they watched, they came to the class and I explained stuff. So anyway, you were there Friday, Debbie. Yes, I loved meeting you too. And if you want to see pictures of the class, go to Sean's Sewing Center Facebook page. There's lots of pictures on there. Debbie, there's one of you on there. Debbie sat right in the front. She says, where's the best seat? I said, right there. So it was great to meet everybody there. And we sold a machine. Yep. Oh, Elaine says, I have all that software. I only use Embrilliance now. Yeah, let's keep it simple, right? But anyway, so if you're interested in taking a class with me in person, be sure to let your guild or if you have an embroidery group and a guild, those folks really enjoy that. And then, or a quilt shop if they have a classroom. And then if you are a dealer, a brother dealer. So I know Sean sold a couple of scan and cuts, a lot of mats, and a luminaire. So that was very cool. But yeah, very, very neat. Okay, so today we are going to talk about, I did get some presents from my students, and I want to thank you guys for that. So I'll show those tomorrow, and Frito and Keith got presents from some folks. Y'all, we had people drive all the way from Northern Illinois. So that was really, it just warms my heart that you guys do that. I appreciate that so much. I hope it was worth the trip for sure. But today I've got some stitching to do, and I want to go over that before we're here forever, because I got to get on the road, but I want to talk about it. While I was at Sean's, well, let me back up. So I wasn't here on Friday because I had the class early. I totally forgot Thursday morning when I was talking to y'all. My nose itches. Somebody must be talking about me. Remember that old saying? Debbie drove 4 hours. Yeah. Wednesday, when we were working on the quilted Christmas tree quilt, which is right here. Still got folks in our Facebook group seeing blocks and finished pictures of this quilt, and they're like, what's all that about? So folks are not watching the videos, and that's okay. So this is the quilted Christmas tree quilt, and this uses 5x5 squares and a little bit extra yardage, okay? So, gosh, my nose is itchy. There must be something in the air up here. So I was going to put together present B, which in our layout diagram is this skinny pink area right here. So that was 2 skinny strips of the blue and a ribbon. I cut it. I was going to sew it for you Wednesday morning, and it grew legs. Those 3 pieces grew legs and walked off. Can't find them. We've since traveled and packed and unpacked, and I've gone through everything, and I'll find them eventually, but I did not find those pieces that I had cut to do Wednesday's video. So when I got to Sean's we got in Thursday or Wednesday night. We got here to Springfield Wednesday night, and then Thursday morning we went tootling around Springfield, and we did a dry run over to Sean's to see where we were going. And I did a little bit of shopping while I was there. And this is the fabric that gift is made out of, that I lost the pieces, the rest of the pieces to, and I didn't have enough to remake them. Or maybe I did. Anyway, I wanted new fabric, right? So here it is. And I got, this is Kimberbell fabric from Maywood Studios. So it's pretty close in color. Close enough. So here is this. I had to take out this. Yeah, I don't think I had enough for more strips. All right, so this is the piece. I had to unstitch this seam right here, and then this, it was sewn to a green tree piece. So I unstitched that and then sewed it back in. And then here is gift B, the 2 blue pieces with the red ribbon between it. And I did change out the red. This is also from Maywood Studios. It's that houndstooth. It is also a Kimberbell fabric. Both of these are Kimberbell fabrics. So you heard that if my nose itches, company's coming. Well, we're fixing to go be somebody's company. So maybe that's it. There's something in the air, you guys. Oh my goodness. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the day before, we were sitting here in the evening and it sounded like squirrels dropping acorns on top of the bus. We heard pop, 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 and things were flying off. It was the wind, and we're below a tree that was dropping berries on top of the rig. Okay, so looks good. Love it. It will work just fine for a pretty present. So today we're going to stitch present C, and present C is a doozy. Okay. So present C is one of the bigger ones. I probably could have done D on the same day, but anyway. So present C is in the blue, everything that's in the blue. But if you look, so present B, a little bit of that was in the yellow block. Okay. And then present C, we've got, this is the red and white dot. That's the black that I'm using. And then this is wide ribbon, green and a red, and then red and white dot and black. And there's a little bit up here that is green Christmas tree fabric. Kind of difficult. Now, Sharon, your mom said someone's coming with a hole in their undies. How hilarious. That's hilarious. We've gotten away from those fun sayings, haven't we? Too cute. So this block is kind of tricky because it almost has like a, not a Y seam, but they want you to stitch one of these in a half. To stitch halfway through. The instructions tell you to stitch halfway on these blocks. Now, I'm not going to do that, okay? I don't think. We'll have to see. But they're wanting you, yeah, I guess you have to do that. The way they've got it laid out, I guess you have to. But the idea is that you applique on your little bow before you sew this top piece on to the bottom. That's the way they want you to do that. And that way the bottom of the bow pieces get caught in the seam allowance and it looks a little cleaner. Also, somebody put on our Facebook page where they had white fabric for a bow. They used white fabric and instead of red. And then they snap-appliqued the bow, meaning they took this paper template right here for your bow piece and put it in the scan and cut, scanned it in, create the cut pieces from that scanned image, and then created an embroidery design. Okay, not in that order, hopefully. But with a white piece versus a red, she used red blanket stitches and it's okay, but she was disappointed in the result because the ribbon is not snap-appliqued, right? the ribbon is stitched on, pieced. Those black lines are stitched. So if you use red ribbon and red thread, it'll look not quite as obvious, but from that, I learned you might use some SF101. If you're going to use light fabrics, yes, story time. Put some SF101 behind it, and then you won't, it'll make it more opaque. But what I learned from that was tiny stitches, not long ones, for the stitch length that goes out on your blanket stitch. You also might consider some monopoly clear. You might consider that as well. So that's something to take into consideration. And I had to laugh. She said, I should have done a test, but I was impatient. And we do that, right? So nothing wrong with doing a test, okay, with some scrap fabric and see how you look, how you like it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and use some very tiny little, the stitch width is the stitch width is what goes in your, and you can play with the settings to see. So the stitch width is what goes around the edge of the outside of the piece. The stitch length is the bite that comes in on your blanket stitch. So you can play around with that in your BE working file and see which one you like if you're using Embrilliance. So anyway, yes, Sonia, I heard that too about your palm itching. Money's coming, right? Go to the casino. It might be a good day. Okay. So that's what I was going to do today. Now, another tip is to read through. So the present C instructions are long and extensive. There's A, there's B. No, let me find it. Here's C. Present C section. It's right up here at the top. And you've got a lot of steps to this. So my recommendation is to one at a time and in the order given, okay? We talked last week about figuring out which fabric you're going to use for which present, okay? Which fabric you're going to use for which present. And they are broken down by colors. So get those fabrics, bundle them together, and don't let them run around. And then whatever one you use for your ribbon, save it because you're going to cut out your little bow pieces with that. So know which fabrics, if you want to label them, present A, B, C, D, and E. Because your instructions say obscure stuff like, so 2 of these wide ribbon C pieces. C, which one is C? This one, okay? Wide ribbon C. It also helps to go in and label them like I did. So you can figure that out if you want. Alrighty. Good morning. So what I did yesterday was spent some time laying out what all this is going to look like on a design board. It looks like a painting behind me. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, those are cabins. We're at the Springfield KOA. Very nice. Lots of planes, trains, and automobiles sounds, though, here. All right. So, present C lower, present C upper, present B pieces, meaning these fabrics belong to B, but they're in C, and that can get confusing. So, oh, you did put your ADHD chart on Facebook? Good, Becky. Yeah. So these are present E pieces or D pieces, but they're part of the C pink, or is it pink? Block, that color block for C, whatever one it was. I keep moving these around. Blue. Okay. And then it says to put tree pieces together. So my thought was, see, these are all 5 inches high, except for these two, but you're using the 5-inch width. We'll get there. They're folded. So that's how that goes. So I'm going to go through it step by baby step. And the green is going to be my wide ribbon. My board's too small to lay it out flat, so don't let that confuse you. Okay. So we've got green with the gold metallic through it. And I've got gold metallic in the black, so that'll be pretty. And I'll have gold metallic in the bow. Is Hazel new? Hi, Hazel. Thanks for joining us. Oh, from Australia. I love that. You're welcome, Connie. She says, thank you for the baby steps. Yeah, it's really handy to lay these out. I wish I had a bigger board, but anyway, very handy to lay these out so you can figure out what's going to go where when. So my thought was not to sew these two on the half, but to sew them together and then sew it, you know, they'll all fit, right? I don't know. Because the way the instructions read is for you to go ahead and create the bow section right in the top before you sew it on, so that the bottom of the bow pieces get caught in the seam allowance. I might not put this strip on until that piece is done. That's an option too. So, all right. Libby Gay wants to know if there's any updates on the Raleigh Blake Prim. Not yet. I think it's released in November, I believe. So we have some time. Nothing new so far. I'll let you guys know. Okay. All righty. So Keith and Frito got in some. We didn't have a Frito visit yet today, did we? Let's do that. If she'll come over here. She just ate, so I don't know if she's going to want her treats. She right here?
Got a full belly.
She's got a full belly. Frito, you want a treat?
Not that.
Not that full. Here she comes. Come here, baby. Where's my girl? There's my Frito. Where's my Frito? There she is. Hi, baby girl. Okay, here you go. Come here. Come on. Good girl. Get that pretty girl. Yes, there's my Frito. Okay, and you can have a little stick to chew. There you go. All right, bye-bye. Frito visit. I didn't see Dave here yet this morning. He's probably flying. There she is. Yeah. All righty. So let's get stitching on this. This is the Brother NQ3700D. It is a combo machine, 6x10 Disney designs and 6x10 embroidery sewing combo. It is wireless and it takes a USB. So it only weighs 18 pounds. It is a fantastic travel machine. If you are interested in getting one of these little less expensive and almost identical without the Disney, it's the NQ3550W. So that's an option too. I got one of those for my granddaughter. Okay. So first things first on the instructions is to sew up the ribbon. Is Nan here? Hi, Nan. My East Texas girls are in the house. I'm missing y'all. Yesterday, Keith says, I'm ready to go home. I said, we could do that, but we talked about it. Our friends are expecting us, so we don't want to do that. All righty, glasses. Got to have my glasses. Okay. So 2 of the wide ribbon C pieces with the narrow ribbon C piece in between. So this is the exact same thing for the B. It's just exactly the same. But B uses gift pieces as opposed to ribbon. So it's going to go green, red, green. Okay. I'm going to get this rolling. I am using Connecting Threads Essential Pro thread in the machine. And I want this to sit exactly on top and not give me any kind of attitude or drama. Let's see here. Another thing I like about this machine, it's got the button on it for needle down, foot up when you are piecing. Very, very handy. Thank you guys for making Hazel feel welcome. That's so nice. Yeah, very nice. Okay. Let's see here. We're going to get to going. I want to get started. Oh, when you turn your machine on, if you're using a brother or a baby lock in one of these, okay, you can go into your settings, and on the stitch width, I'm going to bump it up to 5.5. And I am using, let me flip this up and show y'all, this little R foot or the J foot, whichever one you happen to have. Mine has a little R up in here, but it's the one with the black button, and it has this clear piece in here. If you use that, and I started needle center, okay, let me put this down. I started needle center, not needle left. And if you start needle center and you go to 5.5 stitch width, you can use the very edge of this foot as your 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's a cute, very cool little trick for these kinds of machines. There. I'm going to pin these together. You guys are so fun. Oh my goodness. All right. Y'all, yesterday, this little arm that's on here that your walking foot hooks to, I was doing embroidery yesterday. I'll show you in a second. And I got my finger under it, and it ate a piece out of my finger. I hate that. What's the matter with Keith? Is he fussing about something? Is my light box bigger than what? T from Texas? Y'all, they want you to seam allowance toward the ribbon. Keith and I got the same light box. Okay. And I'm going to sew this one together. I know a bunch of you are making this with me. I'm seeing it all over the Facebook group. A lot of fun. I like to take a pin and hold my little ends together so that the bottom doesn't get pulled through faster than the top. Because you know feed dogs like to help us out like that, right? I got to press it. So I owe him a beer. I don't think so. Okay. You do? I'm using a Steady Betty. It's a Woolly Betty on one side, Steady Betty on the other. So that's just a handy. It's this. I think this one is 13 square. It's big enough to handle a 12-inch block, 12.5-inch block. So just press the seam allowances toward the ribbon. And that looks good. All right. Very pretty. Very nice. So while I was here, if you weren't here last week, we stopped in Hamilton, Missouri on our way from Kansas, and I got to go to Missouri Star. That was a bucket list for me too. So that was fun. I enjoyed it. Okay. I didn't buy a whole lot there except for the light boxes. A little bit of fabric. Okay. There we go. Very nice. Okay. So next, let's go through Let's go through the instructions. To form the left side of present C, sew together one present B piece to the left of one top present C piece, which it's talking about. The top of present C is the red and white dots. And the present B is a blue. Remember, two different colors. So we're going to, they're both rectangles and only one side matches. So just take it step by baby step, because this is the most complicated of the blocks for these gifts. But we're going to finish this while I'm on the road. It's a good road trip project. They don't have any more kits at Two Chicks Quilting, but you can get the pattern as a download off of Etsy. I have it linked below. And then you use your stash up. I know y'all have a lot of Christmas fabrics. Okay. So there's that. See, it's easy. You just have to kind of, I'm going to press to the dark here. Kind of got to think about present B, present C, which is which, lay it out, right? Oh yeah, Keith got a 3D printer. Okay, so here is the top part of present C. Let's put this right here. And then it says, join this unit to the top of one bottom present C piece. So my bottom present C is the black, and I'm going to put it on top. And if you did it right, it fits. If you did it right. I'm pretty sure I did. And it's perfect. Good. Just baby steps, y'all. I'm going to get my grandson, who has a 3D printer, to start making the support arms for our mats for the scan and cut, front and back. And we're going to put those on our store site. He's 13, quite the little entrepreneur. Also, I think this week there's going to be some ruler racks out on the site as well. My son's got a dozen of them or so. All right. So there is the left side of present C. Okay. That was easy. It was 2 seams. There we go. So let's see here. Sew this unit to the left side of the wide, narrow ribbon C unit. Okay. Just baby steps. So I'm going to put this together. So I've got my wide ribbon C unit and sew it to the left side. And you put it together. When I get longer pieces, I will pin just to make sure everything stays where it's at and the sides, the bottoms don't dance around on me. Okay. Okay. I know Keith is excited to get home and start working again on his Sophia legit kit. Yeah, Lisa, I was on the video for Kimberbell Day. That was fun. Press the seam toward the ribbon, it says. So when you sew something on top, it's going to naturally want to fall over that way, and that just works. And I will finger crease that. Okay. like that. There we go. Looks good. Not bad. So we're going to do the exact same thing, I think, for the right side. Here you go. Coming together. Pretty simple. Okie dokie. Now, step number 3. To form the right side of present C, sew together one present D piece. Present D, again, know your fabrics. This one. To the right of the remaining top present C piece. Top present C. The dots. Little dots, big dots. Right next to each other. These instructions are really good. When I first promoted this pattern, she pulled it down off the Etsy site and then within a day or two put it back. So she's made a lot of sales on this. And I don't know if she tweaked anything at all, but it's well written. Okay, yeah, Keith's off to the shower. So, and it says, press seam toward top present C, which is in this case, the darker fabric. Okay. So yesterday, I wanted to do a little embroidery, and I went searching for the Designs by Juju phone case, and I got into my fabric that I bought at Missouri Star and started doing that. So I'll show you that here when I'm done with this. Let's see. Okay, press the seam toward present C. Join this unit to the top of the remaining bottom piece, which is this black, this one. And then which way does it want me to press? Press the seam toward the bottom. So I'm going to put the bottom on top because it's easier. So I'm going to do this. Fold this way and then sew it like this. Okay. Lisa, my project is the quilted Christmas tree quilt. It's a download pattern on Etsy, and we're going to, it's got a tiny bit of applique in it, which is the ribbons, and we're going to snap-applique the ribbons when I get all this done. I thought I showed you the Missouri Star haul last week, so you can go back and rewatch that, but I will show you the fabric that I got. So Missouri Star has some of their own fabric now, and it's called Welcome to Quilt Town. That was on sale the other day online, of course, after I bought it, right? All right, and then it needs to press toward the black. So I'm going to pull this. There. Little headlight on my Oliso M3 Pro. Very nice. Okay, got that. So that looks good. Next step. Oh, I'm a mess. Well, we're traveling today. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Sew this unit to the right side of the ribbon. All right. Which is this. The ribbon is wide green, skinny red. So this goes like this. And it says, press toward the ribbon. So I'm going to sew with the ribbon on top. Get them lined up straight and then flip them around as you need. Yeah, I'm thinking that the red thread, tiny bites on the stitch length is going to work good for these snap-applique. There was some suggestions that she could even go ahead and blanket stitch on the ribbon part too to make it look like applique. You could if you wanted to. Just trying to keep it simple here. All right, we're getting to the nuts and bolts here. We're going to have, there's a half seam, which kind of threw me. Have you ever been to Hancock's in Paducah? No. I'm going to go, though. That is also on the bucket list. Probably next year. Probably next year. This is looking good. Look how easy this is. Okay, so what's next? We've done number 3. So here we go. Make a present B tree unit by joining one present B piece with a green print rectangle. Okay, so what that is, here's the present B piece with the green rectangle. And it says press toward the present, right? All right. Let me put this up here. That's how that goes. So put these two together. Just got to sit here and baby step this because it can get confusing. I'm getting nervous about that half seam it wants me to do. And I'm like, which half? Which side? What do you want me to do? Which half? But the instructions on this tell you to go ahead and put together the bow on top. And I'm not doing that right now because I'm going to snap-applique all my bow pieces at one time. So I can cut them all at once. I probably should have done that already. All right. Morning, Bonnie. How you doing, sweetheart? Bonnie's my travel manager. Okay. Let's see here. She took her grandson to an axe throwing thing yesterday. I would love to do that. Okay. So that piece is done. See? So my process to do the rest of this is different from what they say. Okay. See, here's where we are, number 5. Make a present D tree unit by partially joining one present D piece, which is actually this one. If you look at the picture, no. Oh, let's see. Do I have these wrong? See, this is where you get confused. If I look at the picture, the present D piece, I don't know what it's telling me. So you would think this is going to go. Are y'all doing this? Are you confused? Okay, this has to go. I need to get this laid out where I can actually see it. You guys, I'm doing this. I'm not even doing this cold. Last night, I sat here and chewed on this for a while, trying to figure it out. So I got that one done. But I need a bigger. Have you guys done it? You read that step 10 times, Tracy? Did you, I'm assuming you figured it out. Did you figure it out? How many times did you have to sew it and undo it? Okay. So let's get this straight. All right. This is the present D fabric. This is present D fabric. This goes like this. How rude. Sorry, guys. Ugh. Okay. That's the only thing I can figure. Because you sit here and look at this, right? This is where this goes. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Oh, you guys give a thumbs up if you would. Let's muddle through this together. So this goes like this. Hold on. Let me pull this way over here. This goes like this, and this goes like that. Yes. That's how that works. So you get a partial seam. That's weird. But it's correct. So let me do the easy part first. I know that this green goes here on this green because this is the part of the tree. So like I said, it's not really a Y seam. It has you sew from right to left. Yeah. So we're making the background that the bow sits on right up here. Okay. No, the green goes on top. Does it, Margaret? The partial is on the white until the next section. Yeah, I thought so. I got you. The green doesn't, let's see here. Red dots. So the red dots, that's this one. And it's got a green here next to the white D. I don't know, you guys. No, it goes on top. That's what that's about. And the red print dot. Oh, y'all, I'm having a hard time with this. And the green goes on top of this. Is that right? Yeah. I'm having a hard time. Where's my pen? Oh, I wanted to do this, you guys, I'm telling you. You sew the green completely on top of the white one. Okay, Donna, that's where I'm getting. Okay, so this is, yes. So this is green. This is green. This is green. This is green. Okay. So we have, these are the tree right here. You sew the green completely on top of the red print dot. Yeah. Okay. So these two. I'm going to do it. And if it's wrong, I'll fix it.
It's looking for me. Yeah, Frito.
Okay, I gotta iron this. Switch out my ironing things. Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna press toward the green, I guess. The other green square, Margaret says, goes first to make the background for the bow and then the white green piece. All right. Right. Like that. Yeah. And this is where it says to sew them partially. Yeah, I think. like this. Is that correct? So do you sew the which half, the green or the white? I got to read the instructions. This is where we get, let's see, starting at the top. Okay. With right sides together, set the green piece on top of present D piece, starting at the top, sew halfway, then back stitch to secure. Leave the rest of the seam open at this time. Press the seam toward present D. So I should have only sewed half that. It makes it clear you could never do this. I just don't understand why they only wanted me to sew half of it. I don't understand why they say to sew. I'm trying to follow the directions, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Is that one of these trust the process? Yeah. So I should have only sewn half of this. All right. Have seam ripper, will travel. Yep. With the green on top, sew half. But I don't know which half to leave open. Everybody's saying yes, yes, yes. That's how. So which half do I leave open? With the green on top, sew to the middle. Okay, I got it. I always pull out the wrong end of this. So I don't understand, but okay. Trust the process. Got you. I'm going to open this up halfway. Okay. It's open. I'll do a little back stitch like it says, just for grins. Doesn't work with that. Okay. Okay. I did it halfway. We'll see. All right, Star, have a good day, sweetheart. See you later. All right, so it's open like they said, I guess. I guess that's just sew something else together in the next section, like you said. Okay, we'll do. And then this is going to go on here. And it says sew green to green, right? I did that. Press toward present D. Form the bow unit above present C by laying out 4 pieces from left to right with green on the right, green tree square, partially sewn together tree unit D, green on top. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. We'll figure it out, y'all. I think my green piece here is too big. Anyway, where are we at? About 5 minutes. We got about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to sew the rest of these together. I think I need to trim this down. I think I have a block that is just a hair too big. I need to trim that down. So while we're here, I just have a couple minutes left, and I'm going to sew. I'm going to trim this green down, and then I'm going to sew all my greens together like this. We'll figure out that half sew. Partial seams work great once you wrap your head around them. All right, Jennifer, I'm going to trust you on that. It's my first time doing this. So let me show you guys what I did with embroidery yesterday. I'm making Designs by Juju's phone case. I need another one. So this is called Welcome to Quilt Town. This fabric, it's very cute. And that's the outer zipper piece of this. Now, I'm using a bianni zipper in this. So I tried repeatedly to get even stitching. Bianni zippers are 1.5 inches wide, and the line for the zipper, somebody asked about this yesterday on Facebook too, about since Joanne closed, where can you get good zippers? I wanted to use a bianni zipper in this, but it was too wide for the alignment lines. I tried 3 times to get it straight, couldn't get it right. what I ended up doing was actually trimming down the Bianni zipper to 1 inch. So I took an 1/8 of an inch off both sides of the Bianni zipper so it would fit, and it fit perfect. And now the zipper is in place evenly, top and bottom. So try that if you are making something like this. And I made my little strap out of the same fabric. This is also part of the line, Welcome to Quilt Town. That's the inside here. Okay, I know I have some. Sally Tomato has zippers, the 3 and the 5. Okay, that'll work, Cindy. So I just love this. It's got little quilt blocks inside the centers of the flowers. So pretty. That one's really pretty right there. So that's what I'm doing with these. And I don't have any D-rings with me, but I'm going to go ahead and just stitch the ends into the thing and wear it as a crossbody. It'll be fine. I don't need D-rings, but I've got my my back pocket all ready to go. So while I've already done all 3 hoopings, now it's just assembly. So I didn't take hooping number 3 out of the hoop because I was going to sew with you guys today, so I can pop this back in. So Dave, you keep forgetting you're on Central Time. Anyway, that's really a pretty lining fabric. So I love it. The zipper color I used, I think, is a new one from Bianni. They have some new ones, and they have this at Sean's Sewing Center. It is called Papaya, is the name of the zipper, and it matches perfectly with this beautiful fabric. Matches perfectly. I love it. I was wondering where you were, Dave. This is Designs by Juju's phone case. And there's a section in there for crossbody strap. And I've made this before. If you go on that video, if you go on Designs by Juju's webpage for the phone case, the ultimate phone case, I think it's called, go into the product description, and I made a video on how to make one of these. Their instructions are a little difficult because they use the exact same fabric for the top and the lining, and you get confused on what's what. So anyway, I've got a video on how to make it on her site. So make some fabric D-rings. Nah, I'm not that motivated for it, Cindy. Okay, you guys, this was fun. Thank you for helping me through my project. I love working and stitching with you guys. That's what Quilt Retreat is all about, right? So I will see you in the morning. I think we're going to go to the lake tomorrow lunchish. So I will see you tomorrow morning. Not sure about the rest of the week, but I will let you know because I don't think we have good internet at the lake. But I'll see you tomorrow. You guys go sew something. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe.